not the intro for this show. Had it
Dude, I about
preloaded.
punched a hole in the wall of that. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Man,
we're gonna start it.
our intro is actually being worked on.
Nice.
The guys that do it are doing it out of they love our show so much that they're making us one for free.
Nice, dude. That was a sick intro, dude. That was awesome.
like
I love
said,
I love some Lamb of God. So that was awesome.
But yeah, once the intro that's not meant to be starts playing, there's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta wait it out, and that happens. We share the StreamYard with so many shows that each show has their own room.
Yeah.
But me and Steve are waiting on we're doing our own intro and stuff, so we'll have our own room eventually. But sometimes intros come preloaded if you don't catch it.
That was sick. I like that. That was cool.
But yeah, welcome to episode 6, Sons of Thunder.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
I think,
please bow with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for this opportunity to sit down with Tyler and Gabe and to spread your word. I pray that you'll fill me with your Holy Spirit, that you will guide this episode, and that you will provide me with the knowledge and wisdom to articulate your words in a way that will resonate with people. Lord, we face so much hatred and anger and animosity sitting behind this microphone, trying to spread your good word. And I just pray today you'll protect us from the enemy, that you'll bless Gabe, cover him in your blood, bless Tyler and his family, and also be with me, be with my mom and brother, and just lead me through this and provide me with courage and strength and power. It's your most holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, Gabe, it's good to meet you. I'm glad to have you on here. And then what we typically do, man, is we just, get to know you. And for anybody that hasn't heard your story, and then, kind of like your story about your professional background, and then, your what brought you to Christ, or what brought you closer to Christ, or if you have always been with Christ, those are things that me and Steve kind of like. I can't speak for Steve, but I always wonder when I meet somebody that's, a follower and a brother, you always kind of wonder, was it, a certain point, was it an event, and then, yeah, man, we just let the conversation go from there.
Cool. Yeah, I'll just kind of go short and sweet with it. But, growing up, I went to church. Mom and dad had me going to church. I just never really got into it as a kid. I just bored the hell out of me, and I really didn't pay much attention. And then fast forward to my teenage years, I was pretty heavy into alcohol and drug abuse.
Really?
And got to a point when I was 21, sitting in jail, that I decided it was time to make a change, and I joined the military. This was July 2002. So I got in the Army, did that for about 6 years, did 2 tours to Iraq, got out. I struggled with being gone for a year at a time. Like, it was, being in that country was it was a shithole. So being there for a year at a time, coming back for a little bit, and then going back again. Ended up getting out and really kind of lost my identity and jumped right back into drugs. This time it was opiate painkillers, real heavy on those. And then towards the 2010, started drinking again and had a suicide attempt where I actually almost died. Woke up in a hospital 3 days later. Fortunately, I don't remember doing it. I had been staying in a motel room. I rented it specifically just to take my own life. So I took a bunch of booze with me, took all my pills that the VA was giving me. So clonazepam, a bunch of the narcotic pain meds. What was it at the time? It was Percocets.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were just feeding it to me like candy. That's how it was kind of in that time frame. So I go there and dude just take all my pills, down a bunch of booze. I remember opening up my cell phone. It was the freaking flip cell phones at the time. And first I tried calling one of my friends. Nobody answered. And then I blacked out, but apparently I called my mom. And somehow I was able to give her my location.
Shit.
And the only thing I remember is just like a very small glimpse of being on the floor of the motel room with paramedics standing over me. I think they were giving me the sternum rub, and it kind of snapped me out of it for a second. And then it just went black after that. Woke up, it was 2 or 3 days later in the hospital. Someone was sticking a syringe in my abdomen. And that was my, like, I had many rock bottom moments prior to that, but that was the one that really, I was like, holy shit, man. Like, that was almost the end. I had almost ended my life completely. And from that day forward, I've been clean and sober since. And I spent probably, I'd say, a good 5 years trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And finally I started doing security work. I did prior to that everything from being a tattoo artist to heavy wheel equipment mechanic. And then I got into doing security. So I worked security at a casino. I got into hospital security, did really well in that, just enjoyed it. Like, I didn't have any issues going like hands-on with people or confronting people.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the similar camaraderie as like the military. So then I started applying for police departments and finally got picked up in 2016 at the Reno Police Department, which, with my background, like, I honestly thought it was never going to happen. I had a felony at 17, plus several other arrests after I was 18, all misdemeanor stuff, and of course a suicide attempt. So I never thought in a million years it would happen, but I tested multiple times and just kept trying. And I got picked up, and yeah, I actually just left the department in April. So did almost 10 years, did 7 years on SWAT, 5 years as sniper, and those were collateral duties. So my primary duty was patrol. So I did patrol for.
Okay. So does Reno have like a SWAT like auxiliary? Do they have a full-time team?
It's a part-time team.
Yeah. Okay.
So we would just train like 2 days a month, and then being a sniper, I would get a third training day a month. So.
Okay. I've never ever met a Reno cop, because obviously we've all watched Reno 911, but I'm assuming it's not the same.
No, not similar at all. Although we did have a guy that dressed up with the shorts and the white
Lieutenant Dangles, yeah.
Yes, as one of our social media deals they were trying to do. But
that's funny.
Yeah.
Man, so what made you leave the job?
Well, there was a lot of stuff going on with the department itself. So I left right after I left the department. The chief of police and 5 of the command staff had been put on administrative leave for all kinds of crazy stuff. And then I want to say it was like, man, what was it? Probably end of April. The chief and 2 of the assistant chiefs were fired. So the department itself it was kind of a shit show. And then beyond that, I'd had, going back to December 2024, one of my really good buddies, who was also our SWAT team medic, he took his own life. I was on duty that day, and man, it just wrecked me worse than what I ever expected a suicide. Like, being in the military, I had heard, friends that I had served with had taken their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
But this one just really like struck a chord. Plus I responded to the scene, and, we did a report of his body to the mortuary, and So then fast forward throughout the next year, I had my stepmom die. Another friend from the department took his own life in August, Ernie Kazmar. And then shortly after that, my dad died. And then 4 days later, my dog died. And it was
cow,
just like
dude.
one of those years that, man, I was
Yeah,
just,
like you say one of those years. I've never had a year like that even close in my life. So
never
I
expected.
feel for you, bro.
But it was also one of those really eye-opening moments to how much I had kind of sacrificed spending time with family for the job because I was so wrapped up in the identity of it, just being a cop. And yeah, I was fucking SWAT and sniper and all that. Like, all I wanted to do was train and be at work and do that stuff. Meanwhile, you know, my family and all the people that were really important in my life were the ones that I was missing out on. And the job itself was kind of making me a person that I didn't like. You know, I stayed sober the entire time, but just the redundancy of, you know, the domestic calls and the stuff that we deal with just over and over. And when it's the same people, like, I had a hard time avoiding not getting jaded and just pissed off. So I was spending like 10 hours a day at work, just angry as hell. I was not happy. Like, I enjoyed when the critical incidents popped off and, you know, I could go do the SWAT thing, but doing the patrol stuff, like, I just.
What was your faith like in that year for you? Was were you had you given your life to Christ and everything like that before that year?
It wasn't until after, probably a couple months after my dad died.
Okay.
I can't remember when it was that I was on your podcast, Steve, but
yeah, it was. I think it was around March or April. I think it hasn't been that long ago.
Yeah, I want to say it was like March timeframe. But I had called Steve beforehand. And that's one thing. Like, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate like you chatting with me and talking about your faith, because I was struggling so much with it. It was like, it was something I knew I needed, but I just didn't know how to do it. And the people in my area that I was aware of that were, you know, really into faith and had given their life to Christ, I just didn't resonate with at all. And it was very difficult for me. And maybe it's just my perspective on it. You know, I just had that, like, well, what do you know? You haven't seen any of the stuff that I've seen kind of mentality. And, you know, it's, in my mind, I was like, it's easy for you. Like, you've had probably, you know, somewhat easy life in comparison, which is a bad perspective to have now that I look at it. But
it's true though, man, because a lot of people that have that strong foundation haven't been through as much, you know, real world trials and you know, addiction, loss, you know, when it comes to like being like a normal guy. So it is hard to relate to the, you know, the average church person sometimes.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. No, sometimes I go in there and, you know, you're like, I know Steve told me not to say this about myself, but you look around and you're like, man, I'm a giant piece of shit compared to these people, and they have no idea. And obviously that's not what they would think if you talk to them, but you're just like, you know, all the things that I've been through or put myself through, or, you know, the jobs that I've had. And I remember when I got baptized, man, it like brought tears to my eyes, because my pastor, he was, you know, they were playing the music and stuff. And there was a whole crowd. I mean, they make it like the crowd is like, it's like a football game. Like, you just, every person that goes and gets baptized, it's like they just scored the game winning goal. Everybody goes nuts. And he was holding my hand and he was like, I know the things that you've seen, and I can't even say it without getting choked up. And but it's you know, it's definitely like Steve was saying, for me, it's like you almost feel like you don't have anything to relate to with them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's the type of guys that we are, like, who chooses to do that stuff, you know, who chooses to go to war.
But
Like, I mean,
The irony is like, and Gabe's done some of this and like online, like using kind of like our backgrounds and then trying to promote Christ. And there's a lot of blowback with it, like
Really?
yeah, it's crazy. People get all worked up, and John Martinez we've had on, he does all these cool, like cop and military theme things with Bible verses, and people get all worked up and say, that's not what the Bible says. You're not supposed to be like that. And it's funny to me. Like, we're trying to actually reach guys with a background that's different than the average churchgoer, but yet those churchgoers are trying to push it down. It's almost like this, like it's a rivalry, like it's, oh, we don't want to be portrayed as that, so we're going to try to shut you up. And to me, it's comical, man. I'm like, dude, not everybody's going to relate to the pastor that went to Bible college and never drank a beer. That's just not ever going to happen,
Well, and that's like a lot of those comments too, man. Like, I was getting pissed off at first, but now I just look at it like, you know what? These people are they're taking the time to put these, comments on social media just to go against what we're saying. They're probably in a bad place themselves. As much as they're trying to like represent that they're a Christ follower and all that, you have to be in kind of a crappy place to go on social media and put disparaging comments.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm just like, I pray for them and hope that they, find their way through it. But I know that
that's the hardest part, is praying for somebody that's just being nasty. And it's become comical. Me and my other business partner Mike, we'll look at each other and be like, you feel bad. He's actually responded to people and he's like, dude, I'm just kind of done being nasty. Like, I feel bad for you. That this is what you do every day, is you just sit there and post negativity on, because we make fun, like keyboard warriors, right? You would never say, but in all reality, it's like a place for people to vent hate.
Yeah.
Like, just pure hate in their heart, because they know there's no real, they're not gonna, I don't mean this in a challenging way, but they're not gonna get hit for it. They're not in a bar saying this stuff or out like in front of somebody. They're saying it from the safety of, there's no repercussions, so they're able to just let it out. And it's like, I really do feel bad for people like that.
Yeah, and I was feeding into like, fighting back in the comments, but man, I found myself just getting so pissed off and like,
yeah,
because nobody wins in comments, right? Like, it's just forth forever. And
especially
you're right.
Instagram is the worst place where people just go and say the most ignorant shit.
Oh, yeah.
And then, maybe it's all social media comments. Very rarely is somebody in there going, hey, I'd like to challenge your thought process, or can you elaborate on this because I disagree with you? Like, that is a very rare thing, because I will acknowledge that. The first thing I'll say is, hey, thanks for commenting and telling me how you feel, but thank you for not being hateful about it, because that's what we're just so used to seeing. Like, this guy's an idiot, he's a moron, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, if I saw something that I thought was so stupid or enraged me, I'm never going to give it the time of day to comment on it. Naturally, I don't want to see it. It's repulsive to me. If somebody says, like, if I see something demonic, or gross or disgusting, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, I'm just never, I don't want to see that ever again. I want to live my life where that negativity doesn't impact me.
Yeah, just scroll past it, man. Like, too many people allow that stuff to just get in their head, and yeah, they want to spend all the time in anger, like venting it in the comments, which doesn't do anything.
I try to just drive them over to YouTube. Like, if they're worked up on Instagram, I'm like, bring it on over to YouTube and we'll talk.
Can I please?
Yeah, make sure you subscribe when you come
over. Yeah, you give it a like and then we'll talk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do this. I came to Steve about this show, and I was like, I've thought about doing something like this for a long time, and I was like, I had to take all the selfishness out of it, because I was like, man, my other platform can get really like it's entertainment, but it can get toxic, especially in the comment section. Like, people, they really despise our brand. And so kind of like, you know, we kind of play into it obviously a little bit, but like sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I was able to speak more about, you know, positivity and like, and then guys that, like me and Steve, man, we're first off, we always say, and I'm sure you too, is that we are not perfect at all. We are struggling every day to be better Christian men in a world where it doesn't help you at all. So
everything's going against us. But yeah, I'll say, man, I was pretty surprised because I'd listened to the Anti-Hero podcast, and then when Steve said you guys were teaming up and doing this, I was like, oh shit. Like, I was kind of shocked. But dude, it's badass. I love what you guys are doing with it.
Yeah.
And I think it's needed too, you know, like despite all the negativity, like it's something that needs to be out there.
Yeah. I mean, poor Steve, man, he gets on the receiving end of some of the people that like wake up every day to hate my other platform. You know, he'll be like, man, what did I do? I'm just trying to spread the word.
It's
bro.
all good. Yeah, it's all good, man. Yeah, it's all good. I still get it too, though. I had a guy the other day get mad because a guy came on my show and he's talking about the book of Job. We know Instagram is like a 40, 30, 45-second clip. And he made some comment like, how much time am I going to have to waste to get the answer to this? And I said, man, this is a podcast page. Podcasts don't live on Instagram. It's an hour long. It's exactly 60 minutes. Come over to YouTube or listen to it in the car on Spotify. Like, I'm not just going to put the whole thing on Instagram. It's like, why? Like, and he was an atheist. It's like, why are you so mad then? Like, why do you care?
It's almost like people, their like inner thoughts come out in the comment. Like, why is this like, oh, I actually typed that out. Yeah. I mean, because you're right. Like, you know, you don't watch a movie trailer and go, well, where's the plot twist in the conclusion? What happened? Right, why don't I know the ending of this movie? Like, yeah.
That's a good analogy. Yeah, and you guys that are watching right now, go over to Peace, Power, and Purpose podcast and listen to Gabe's episode because I think we spent almost 2 hours, dude. I mean, you told a powerful testimony, man, and it's definitely worth you guys, you know, supporting Gabe. Go check it out and hear his whole story.
Appreciate it.
Did you guys get to anything where Steve expressed his disappointment that you have bigger muscles than him?
Yeah, you are looking jacked, dude. I feel small. I didn't get to work out today either. Wow. Feeling insecure over here, dude.
I saw that picture you posted of you with hair, man. I was like, that guy looks like me? Steve.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. So what do you, I mean, like, so your company now, is that something that you started while you were in law enforcement or did you start it post law enforcement?
Yeah. So I started, it was a little over a year ago. Shoot, it's been about a year and a half ago. So I was still on the job and I would put on just basic pistol and rifle trainings, maybe once every couple of weeks on my days off. To be able to help, because I mean, you probably know the deficiency or just the lack of training in law enforcement. So just trying to get more training to these, especially patrol guys that need it. So yeah, it's been February. It was February 2025 that I started it up. So, and yeah, now I'm doing it full time since I left. Just putting on courses as much as I can, doing private lessons, and it's for law enforcement and civilians. It's a lot tougher to get the law enforcement to come out and train. A lot of them just, you know, reality is they don't want to. The bare minimum is okay.
I'm guilty of that. Now, granted, I was on SWAT for a short stint of my career, and nothing in the military I did compared to the amount of rounds you put down range for SWAT. I learned to shoot on SWAT. Like,
really?
But for me, shooting it's not a perishable skill. It's like riding a bike. I retained all that, but so I was always like, well, you know, I don't need to train, but I'm guilty of it too. You know, they, you know, you got to go out there on your day off, not get paid, sweat at the range, or, you know, but you're always thinking like that call will never happen. That hostage call that I'll have to take that shot will never happen, you know?
So yeah. And I was totally the opposite. I was that mindset of, man, if that HR mission does pop up, like I want to.
Well, it's crazy. We're seeing. I mean, it still happens a lot with SWAT, but we're seeing that patrols having to make that decision, and we're seeing the devastating. I mean, I've seen 2 videos with the worst possible outcome, and you're like, I couldn't. I saw the 2 videos in particular. I'm like, man, it's over. It's done with. The victim was killed in the shot, and I'm like, now I worry about that cop's mental health. Like I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine.
Well, that's the thing, like patrol, like being on patrol, I responded to way more crazy incidents than I ever did on SWAT, because SWAT's always kind of like after the math thing, right? Like after all the craziness has happened, now the guy's like barricaded in the house. There's been a few like wild things that happened, but 7 years in SWAT was nothing compared to the
patrol is like I compared patrol to SWAT a lot, and SWAT, you're 20, 30 men deep, and you're hitting a pre-planned target with everything that stacked in your side. Patrol there's nothing on patrol that's not reactionary. Patrol, you're reacting to every single thing you do. Even proactivity, you're going to be reacting to the aftermath of that proactivity. Whatever happens, then now you're reacting. So yeah, I told you all the time, man. SWAT is a very, 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 very what's that called? A esteemed thing to achieve. And it is, and the amount of training you'll get is crazy. And you are, when cops got to dial 911, it's you. But I was like, don't sleep on the dangers of patrol. Like, don't think just because you're not on SWAT that you're not 1 second away from getting killed out there.
Plus, you got less training than the average SWAT operator.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're having to. You may be the new guy with no training, and you got to handle it. So.
Yeah, and that's, dude, I benefited huge on the patrol side from all the training that I was getting on SWAT. Like, it just made me a way better patrol cop and feeling more comfortable with responding to, the more insane calls.
Yeah, one thing me and Steve talked about too is like, I think we talked about it 2 episodes ago and I kind of want to tie it into this when, people like you, Gabe, or anybody else that is starting some kind of business in our sphere, right? Law enforcement, tactical, military, and incorporating Christ into it, the unnecessary and alarming backlash that comes with it. Because me and Steve always talk, like, hey, praying, right? It, for some reason in our culture, prayer makes people uncomfortable. And I remember saying, like, you know what, if we want to pray at the beginning of our podcast, and it bothers you, then you can go back and think all the times that you saw something that bothered you and you got over it. You can get over me praying. And I know that's not a very Christian thing to say, because I should be wanting them to pray with me and helping them. But just people, I was in church, and he was like, our pastor was like, prayers, it's the sin inside people that is like, we're like, don't pray. It's like brings it. I think it like brings people conscious to the sin inside them. And like, man, like I pray, like me, I was making dinner the other night, and my 2 sons were sitting there, and I asked my youngest one, and my wife was on the couch because she was like super sick. So I was making her food, and my son's food was sitting there. And I go, hey, I'm coming. I didn't want the food to get cold. So I was like, hey, go ahead. And I was like, go ahead and pray, bud. And he was looking, he's like, I don't want to. Because me or his mother always lead prayer, at the table. And he was just like, like embarrassed, like kind of like Steve was like, Tyler, are you going to pray? And I'm like, oh, on the spot? It shouldn't be like that. It should be like, yes, I want to pray. And, but the people reacting to incorporating Christ negatively is concerning to me in our society.
Yeah, there's a lot of hatred towards it, and I think you said it well. Like your preacher said, it's the sin in them. I think it makes them feel conflicted, and they don't want to feel that way, so they rather just avoid it, at all costs, or just kind of like pretend like it's not a big deal. That's kind of what I see. Because if you're really humbling yourself and trying to be a better person, you might say, oh, okay, if they want to pray, that's cool. It doesn't mean you have to agree with them or the prayer, but you don't have to like freak out about it, you know?
But like, what's a food that you can't stand, Mike? That like, if you even look at it, you're like, ugh. Like, is there any type of food that repulses you?
Onions.
Onions, right? So
Nasty.
if I pulled out an onion and like bit into it right now, right? You going like, dude, oh no, like no. That's what people are feeling when you incorporate Christ. And it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's alarming. Like,
Yeah.
it's complete repulsiveness. And or if it's not repulsiveness, it's like Steve, I think, said, kind of like guilt, you know, where people maybe they just don't want to, I don't want to be like that, but
it almost goes the other way too. I think people cherry pick. Like, I got sent a video yesterday, and this guy wanted me to discuss this on the show tonight about Christians and cussing. And the guy did this whole video. He was doing all these gun drills, like in his garage. He had all his stuff on, looking all cool. And he basically was saying that cussing as a Christian is not a sin if it brings someone into church. And I think there's a difference in a church building and an individual, because like if the three of us are hanging out, we're probably going to cuss because we all know each other. But if I'm around, like, you know, Tyler's kids, I'm not going to be dropping F-bombs. Or if I'm, you know, in a place where my son's at, I'm not going to be talking to you guys the way I would. And people might say it's hypocritical, but I think at the end of the day, we're supposed to reflect a version of Jesus as Christian men. And if we're out, you know, in a church building dropping F-bombs and, oh, that's cool, I love Jesus, I think you're cherry picking sin, because you can throw everything else in that same mix. Like, well, you can throw adultery, you can throw in gluttony or whatever. And I think people are really against Christ, and then you've got the group that's trying to make it cooler by being edgy, you know?
Well, like, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask both of you guys this, right? Like a brotherhood, a squad, a team. There's a lot when you build a close bond with like-minded men that face danger and adversity together. So that bond, now you're not individuals, you're now kind of a unit, right? Mm-hmm. And some of the things that can go under the rug as far as values, you tend to go, hey man, that's not my business. That's not my business what he's doing behind his wife's back. That's not my, you know, he's my brother, you know. And it's like, I've always wanted to surround myself with men that made me feel like you two right now. If I said, if I cussed, my immediate reaction is going to go in my head and be like, that's embarrassing, because these guys haven't cussed once. And we're all holding a high standard that we want to be in this room. So that way it kind of keeps everybody in check. Like, the standard's here and we're all standing up high, upright, trying to maintain that standard. But if we were to be deployed together for a year, fast forward 12 months, we bonded, right? And now it's dirty jokes, and it's like, and we're enjoying it. Like, oh, I'm lowering my standard a little bit as a man, because we're all fucking off. Like, we're all doing. Oh, see, I just did it. But like, you know, that's I like surrounding myself with better men than me, or men that I believe are trying to stand up tall, and it makes me, you know, kind of put myself in check. Like, I don't need to act like one of the boys and allow certain things to go on, because that's just who they are, and we've always done that. And I don't know if I'm explaining it very well.
It's like what Paul says, you know, bad company corrupts good character. So you want to surround yourself with people better than you, so you can grow and you can evolve. And that's where I think that's where the humility comes in. Like, if you're look at it from a ball player standpoint, if you're staying around guys that are worse than you are, you're never going to improve as a player. You got to play at a higher level. So I think you, instead of making excuses, surround yourself people. Like, that's how I look at doing the podcast, is I want to interview people. I mean, everybody's welcome, but like, I definitely want to talk to people that have more wisdom and knowledge than I do, because I don't have it all figured out. Trust me. Like, I'm not perfect, you know?
Yeah. And I think, you know, kind of like you were talking about, Tyler, like being surrounded with dudes where you've kind of trauma bonded or whatever a little bit. Like, even though we have like this high standard thought of ourselves, like, if the rest of the group is acting in a lower standard way, we have that, like, where we don't want to be judged. So we ourselves to that. And I think it goes the same thing with like the prayer too. A lot of people are just that fear of like, what is this person going to think of me? Or what is the group going to think
Yes.
if I'm
I mean,
praying?
it's tribal. I mean, like you don't want to be like, even though you're holding up a standard or you're asking about something that we should all be upholding. If 9 out of 10 guys look at you and go, "Whoa, man, Mr. Fun Police over here, Mr. Moore," like you don't want to be that guy. You're like, "Damn, dude, I would thought all of y'all would be thinking like this," and I know y'all are. I know when y'all separate, you act differently. And I don't know. I just never wanted to be that guy that like Steve's like, oh, Tyler's my boy. I mean, he's Tyler, dude. I can't bring him around certain play. That's embarrassing to me. Like I would want to be somebody where, hey, you swear too much, dude, or you're too controversial, or you're too negative, or you're too relaxed, or you're too lazy, or you're too cynical. Like I don't want to be those things. I am a lot of those things. And I will fall victim to it if I'm in the right room, especially cop talk, man. I fall right into that. The job is dead, all this, going to Chipotle over, caring about stuff like that. There's parts of me that struggled with that towards the end of my career. And so I never get a chance to actually say, no, that's not the right answer. That was the wrong mindset. It was probably maybe the wrong environment for me. Maybe, it was my fault, but maybe there was things that I could have changed externally to help keep me in a better mindset. But we fall into those safety ways. And I just, like I said, I just want to be the most uplifted, upright version of myself. So I find guys like you and, my co-host on Antihero, he's, Mike, he lives by virtue, dude. And so with people like that and you guys, I'm like, I sometimes feel like, man, dude, I'm a turd.
Well, it's a good point, and I want to brag on Gabe for a sec because we had a conversation a couple months ago and we were talking about my podcast, and Gabe brought up a good point. He was like, "Man, you're crushing it. You're putting a lot of episodes out, but it's hard to keep up because I was doing 2 a week." And so I really took that advice to heart, and I'm grateful, Gabe, that you said that to me instead of maybe like a different type of friend that would just be like, "Oh yeah, man, you're crushing it, and I'm proud of you." But you actually said, "Man, you're like, there's so much out there, it's hard to keep up." So what I actually have started doing now is I'm just doing 1 a week to really spend more time on, getting more awareness for it. And so I've got like a couple coming up where I'm doing 2 a week, but after that, I'm only going to 1. And that was because of our conversation, man. So I really appreciate your insight in just saying that to me.
Well, and that's what I would want for any of the guys that I'm, closely tied to not just be a cheerleader because like that's the right thing to do. No, I want them to be like, hey man, you should probably check yourself or maybe look at it doing things a little bit differently. If you see, a deficiency or something going on, like that's what a real, I think, friend.
Yeah. I mean, like seriously, like how much would you value somebody later if they were the only ones that came up to you and said, I think you're drinking too much, man. I know you, dude. I know you for a long time. And I know that you have been drinking a little bit more openly, but I can tell that something's going on. Or, hey man, I noticed that something's going on, dude. You're not yourself. You're lashing out. You've been a little bit more negative, and then be ready for the dude. Why don't you mind your own business there? And like, imagine how much more impactful you'd be on your brother if you were just like that. There's no hate, there's no judgment. I'm here for you. I care about you. But none of us want to do that instinctually. I don't want to make, I don't want to make anybody upset at me. I want everything to be groovy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's, I think I was never like probably the popular guy on the SWAT team because I was always the guy that was like, hey man, why are you eating that food? Like, man, I want to see you do well. It's like, why aren't you working out as much? I'd call guys out on the stuff. And maybe I wasn't like as tactful as I should have been, but man, I want to see people succeed, right? And the only way to help them in that is just being straightforward about it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, comes that like judgment where people.
I think, well, and like a lot of guys, they don't trust. Like I can think back and reflect. I'm a very I have an ego problem, or not a pride. Maybe it's more of a pride issue. I don't like being told that I could. I'm just telling you out loud, instinctually. I don't like being corrected, it's insane because like that's a horrible mindset to have. But I know it's a weakness of mine. But I'd never experienced guys, or very rarely experienced guys that would hold me accountable and then stick around and stay there for the change. It was always hold you and then judge you and say like, this guy, he's not. And then of course that, so you don't trust people anymore. But I know if I was a younger guy on the team and I was slacking in something, whether it be fitness or dedication or attitude or punctuality or something, and somebody came to me and said, this is, and not in like a supervisor way or a team leader way. But I mean, like somebody like, hey, I'm calling you out, dude. Like I've been on this team, and I don't like this, but sticking around and being there for the correction, and then I think that's super important. That's something that I never experienced.
Well, and helping them through it too, right?
Yeah.
Something that, recently I had a buddy that, man, I saw him just slipping in the drinking, like he was heavy duty into drinking, and called him out on it at a funeral that we were at. And, later on put together an intervention and really just staying in comms with the guy and making sure. But yeah, it's hard to do that sometimes. It's easy to call,
especially
stuff, but
when they hit you with they want to bring your weakness as their defense. Oh yeah, Mr. So-and-so, because everybody's got, I don't call them skeletons at all. I call them, as part of being life. Everybody's not perfect. And so they'll bring your imperfections. So you want to judge me? And it's like, you have to be ready for that. Like, I understand you're frustrated. I understand you're really mad. And I understand that you don't like what I'm saying to you, but I care about you. But I don't want to forget Cheese, one of our listener says, how do you find appropriate and relatable Christian fellowship? The lack of relation and differences in theology have always been a major issue for me. And he went on to say, for example, the best moral good family dudes I work with are LDS guys, and I tend to gravitate towards them until we start talking about theology and it falls apart. What's LDS guys?
Latter-day Saints.
Okay. I don't know. I'll let you guys take that one.
I had to start a podcast to really get fellowship with Christians because I was in a men's group for about a year, and I was one of the younger guys. And man, the group leader was a drunk, and as a guy that's not drinking alcohol anymore, I'm huge on leading by example, man. And if you are not carrying your weight, I just kind of disengage. And I didn't feel it was my place to check him on it. So I just decided this group's not serving me. And I just made the decision it was inconvenient for me anyways to be in it. It was good in the beginning. But eventually I just couldn't do it anymore because being someone that struggled with alcohol, I didn't want to be around that. And, we'd be at his house and he'd have like a full bar and bragging about getting drunk. And I just couldn't do it, man. So I really did not find a core group of dudes I could connect with as far as the Christianity side of it until I started meeting guys like you, Tyler, and Gabe. I mean, I really didn't. And I still don't have a group in person of guys that I can rely on. And maybe that's partly my fault, but I just haven't connected with a lot of people in a church setting. Never really
I think
good at that.
You can't. So I know, like I did the same thing. I was going to a men's group, and I just didn't relate with anybody. I kept going, but I just found that it wasn't beneficial for me at all. But I kept trying other groups and finally found this pretty badass, like Jesus and Jiu-Jitsu group. And
nice.
So, I mean, I think as long as you just keep looking, you're going to find it. Like it's out there. But you can't just like give up after one group. But, I mean, the social media side of things, like after meeting you, Steve, like that has been so beneficial in helping strengthen my faith. Even though we're on different sides of the country. It has been so beneficial.
Well, and also it's kind of, it's cool to have you too, and both you guys in my corner, because there are times when I think people look at you if you're online, like everything's like good to go and you got all your stuff together. And there's times where I still struggle with imposter syndrome, man. Like I'll kind of, I actually prayed about this the other day. I was driving like a pretty long drive, and I was thinking in my head, like, man, all these opportunities are coming. All these people look up to me. And it was that post I did yesterday. I was thinking about that when I was driving, and I was like, man, you're still not there. Like you're still struggling. Like people are leaning on you. So I had to like pray about it, man. Cause it's easy to like get in, for me anyways, get in my own head and start thinking, well, man, why are they looking to me? Like, you know, so I kind of struggle with guys like you though. I can lean on, and I'm grateful for that because I don't have that in person from, you know, a men's group or whatever.
Yeah. I don't have a physical, men's group. Our church, which is, I think is the most ironic thing about it. We go to a great church. I can say nothing bad about my church, and this isn't even really the church's fault. It's the people that go to the church, our community, that I think we need to do something about. Is they have groups for everything. You name it. You name the demographic of type person, business owners, elderly, women's, kids of every different age, mothers with adult sons. They have a group for that. What's the one group they don't have anything for?
Men.
They don't have a men's group. And it's because, now the reasoning I asked was because, well, they were like, well, the guy that did it, his wife became ill and he just can't take on which is, I understand that. So I was like, and it's like one of those things where like, how am I going to just sit there and complain like everybody else? Because they're just waiting for somebody to step up. And then so it goes under that imposter syndrome. The first thing I want to do naturally is go, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I've been going to this church for a year. This week is a year. And I don't feel like I know anything about Christianity compared to a lot of dudes out there. And how am I supposed to lead a men's group when I don't know anything? And so it just always kind of like, it's crazy that I'm, in my personal opinion, men are carrying the most weight and need this structure the most, and there's not a men's group. So
you're leading a men's group right now as we speak, though.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look at the comment section. It's mostly guys. I mean, you're leading a men's group. I mean, it's different online, obviously, than in person, but you're still doing it.
Yeah.
So, and I'll say those like intrusive thoughts. I was actually watching something on YouTube. This guy, Johnny Chang. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him. He's the guy that was in prison for a long time. Like,
yeah, I've seen him.
Just super insightful dude. And he was talking about the intrusive thoughts and how that, I mean, that's literally the enemy just trying to like,
it is
poison and taint our mind to making us believe that we are not, you know, worthy of doing whatever it is that we want to do. So like even Tyler with the men's group thing, man, I say just go for it. Who cares how much you know about it? Like it's creating that group of men and like building that tribe. And then you have guys that are more knowledgeable in Christianity or whatever, but it's just taking that step and building it.
Yeah. And, you know, and then the human part of me starts overthinking, because my wife will tell me as soon as she thinks I'm overthinking, but I'm like, you know, what do we do? Do I order the drinks? Do I is there a slip to request from the church for Pepsi? You know, like, do I take them I was like, obviously, you know, I drink beer. I love beer, but do we go to a place that serves alcohol? I'm like, probably not. Right. And she's like, you're overthinking it. I'm like, well, I'm just trying to be appropriate. Like that would be embarrassing for me if I'm like, hey guys, let's do the men's group and go to the bar and have 19 dudes look at me and go, okay, you must be new to this whole Christianity thing, right?
Who is this guy?
And I'm like, well, should we go bowling, or, you know, should we go shooting? Should we do something? Are we supposed to sit and talk? Right? No, none of us like to do that. But, you know, I think I am going to. I think about it every Sunday that I go there. I'm like, you know, somebody just needs to step up, and even if it's like fill out the form that I'm going to do the men's group, right? And then,
yeah, that's all it takes, man, is just one guy like yourself just to step up and take that role, and then others are going to start following.
And just you could pick a book of the Bible that you like or that you're really familiar with and just start there, and you guys could take turns reading from it and then applying it like we do on here, like to everyday life. Like if I had a men's group, I would do the book of Proverbs. I think that book really relates to a lot of the trials that we face as men, and how to be a good husband, a good father, whatever, good just a good man, and how to avoid some of the pitfalls. But that was one of the first books that I really jumped into when I started my journey of getting sober and all that stuff, just because it just jumped out at me. It's like the guide to life,
Yeah, that was the book you recommended to me, because I asked, like, where do I start, man? I have no idea where to start in the Bible.
We got a $20 super chat from Murphy. Thanks, brother. So again, guys, when super chats come in for this show, me and Steve agreed that we're just going to wait a month or two and then pick an effective niche charity or organization and just donate to it. I don't care what it is, but I appreciate it, Murphy. That's very telling that you donate to the show.
We need to donate to Tyler's men's group.
Help us buy the Cokes, dude. We need that and chips.
Yeah.
Gabe, do you go to church?
That's like, I've been going to a few different ones and I've struggled. We've got some of the like mega churches here where I'm at, and it's just so impersonal. Like, you never see the same people. But I have another one that I just found out about that I'm going to try going to here next weekend. Not giving up on it, but I did struggle a long time with the idea of church, because of, you see these mega churches and you're like, how are they pulling so much money to put this together? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. And yeah, so I struggled with it, but
yeah, because I mean, the idea of church, right, is it goes from a couple people under a tree reading the Bible to a mega church and everything in between. That's church. And I don't know if it's just to each their own, but yeah, no, I could see that. And are you one of those people that struggled with organized religion as far as just praising Jesus and the Lord?
Yeah, 100%. I just had so many questions as to, the things that were going on kind of behind the scenes. You'd hear all the negative stuff about, churches and pastors and all that stuff. And of course, all they ever put out is like the negative stuff. So
yeah,
that's all I was hearing. But I'm really trying to change that view, because I know that there are good churches out there, man, and people truly do care about just spreading the word and building that community.
Yeah, I mean, it's like me and Steve ask questions about, because we don't know anything really about Catholicism, but we go back and look, and like, it's just because Catholicism might have a political, like maybe like bad aftertaste in some people's mouth, that 99.9% of Catholics are devout Catholics, like that they're good people following a religion. And so it's like the one headline, well, not the one, that time when headlines were popping off about priests, and it was, I feel like the enemy won that round when he was able to infiltrate and go, see, look. And it's like, man, imagine how many people's faith were impacted on that, or by that.
Well, it's the same thing with cops too, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. Same thing.
One cop does something stupid, the entire country of police gets judged on it. So
yeah, and people don't like authority naturally. I think that or not, shouldn't say don't like authority. I think human beings are a little bit more pushing with authority. Since you're a kid, you push on authority, right? And when people see a member of authority, it's like walking in and seeing your dad with no underwear on. Whoa, like you see. When you see the police getting arrested, you're like, this is really unnatural. Like, I don't like this. And it can put a bad taste in your mouth. Like, well, those are the guys out here writing tickets, right? Those guys are the bootlicking tax collectors, and then of course, every single person and influencer that doesn't like the police now has a new video to run with and infect all of those people.
Yep.
But yeah, same that's actually a really good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
think it's the same in all aspects. Like, just there's so much negativity put out there in every single little like area that you can think of. Like, everybody, they get more of the likes and the views from the hate and the negativity than anything. So that's unfortunately what we're getting.
but see the problem, the way I was raised is like you respect the profession, but you don't always respect the individual, right? I respect law enforcement, but I don't really like cops because I don't want to get a ticket, even though I'm a former police officer. Like I don't cheer and go yay when they bring on 5 new motorcycle cops here in town because I'm like, those jokers are going to be out writing tickets, and I don't want a ticket. Not that I'm out driving crazy, but like I
Just
think
don't
people,
drive crazy.
yeah, I know, right? Well, but you know how it is, dude. Like, but I think people put like as far as the church goes, especially, they put way too much emphasis on the people than they do Jesus. So we're all human. And I'm not gonna make excuses for some of the nasty stuff that you read, but we're all gonna make mistakes. And they put some of these pastors and priests on these just like huge platforms, man. And then they go, well, how could a priest do that? I'm like, dude, because he's a human, he's a normal guy deep down. And then that goes for all of us, like I make mistakes, I'm not perfect, and that goes for the rest of us. But people kind of just get so, like, you could even go as far as the president. Like, I can't believe the president did it. He's a dude, man. Like, he's supposed to be held to a higher standard, but at the end of the day, we're all flawed people. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, and I love the way you think, Mike, or Steve, is that you say, I need my direct line to Christ. That's what I
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Like I love the support, I love the church, I love the people, but at any certain point in time, any human being can have you frustrated. You can be untrusting of them, even the closest people. The one thing you have is your direct line to Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
The direct line to the Lord to ask you for help, like forsaking everything else around you when you're feeling isolated and you need help. Trusting another human being is a risk. Now, obviously, we get married, so we trust our spouses, but that's anybody else is a risk of betrayal. It's a risk of anything else like that. So
Yeah.
when you have all these positions around you, when you're trying to just pray to the Lord and ask for help, ask for guidance, ask for strength, it's, you can bypass, well, that pastor's a turd, that priest is disgusting, and doesn't impact you because you're like, that's great. I love that people are dedicating their life to the Lord, but I have my direct line to the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's where the relationship really outweighs the church itself. And I think there's got to be a way to highlight that. Like, you've got to have a relationship with Jesus. Yes, church is important, and I think it's a really good thing, but you have to have a relationship with Jesus. If you don't, and you're looking to someone else to build that relationship for you, it's just like quitting drinking. You got to want to do it for yourself. It's going to ultimately affect those in your life in a positive way. But if you don't really want to do it for yourself, you're not going to be successful. That's anything,
Yeah,
Agreed. And I'd say, like, the church aspect, I haven't been able to find it yet, but it's the same thing. Like, just once you've really found that faith, also having the like-minded folks around you to where, you can share that and build that community and camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very difficult. Like, just getting out of law enforcement, I still am so kind of jaded on people and not very trusting. And it's something I'm really working on trying to break. And going to church, man, I find myself walking in there and, man, like, I just keep thinking about, like, what kind of crazy stuff is this guy doing behind the scenes? Or
the cop, how many houses you walked into, you're like, wasn't expecting this from the outside, like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, Gabe, do you miss it? Do you think you made the right choice?
Oh man,
that's a heavy question. I know. I'm just coming off a year. I'm at 13 months now off the job.
Yeah. I miss a lot of it. I love the job. I absolutely love the job. I loved going to the hot calls and doing all that stuff. The politics, I did not. Like, I despised
Yeah.
it.
It doesn't matter
There's
too.
a without the politics, I'd be back in it.
Yeah, and I think when you're newer, you're so you're so low on the totem pole that you're so under the radar that you don't even know what the politics are.
Right.
Then you're around for a while, and it doesn't matter if you're in a 12-man agency or a 1,200-man agency. Politics are politics, and eventually there's pros and cons to being small and big. I've never worked at something as large as like LAPD or but one of my trainees came from Vegas, and he was like, politics there are awful, dude. And I'm like, so he left Vegas, and but yeah, dude, it's just once you hit that level where people start knowing who you are, and then it's kind of like you're done in the form, like people are done formulating their opinion of you. Now it's like, this is who you are, and it's really hard to like have a bad experience with one person, one coworker, right? That you don't get along, and then that stigma follows you around forever, and I mean, I guess that could be with any job, but that was the only job I worked. So,
but I think law enforcement's a little bit different, man. I don't know. It's very much like high school, but with guns.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
It's so crazy. Like the shit talking that goes on.
It attracts a unique group of folks too, man, or at least it used to.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a while since I've been in, but there were a lot of people in it looking for payback because they were stuffed in lockers in high school and stuff. Seriously, man.
Yeah,
seriously,
no, you're not
dude.
lying.
You didn't have the star football player running around with a uniform on writing tickets. I mean, not in my town.
Guys were too.
Yeah.
Because they were the ones that were, man, like, whatever, it's, silly misdemeanor, you got discretion, and they're like, nope, going to jail.
You're going to jail.
No chances, not even going to talk about it.
Broke the law.
Yeah, it's black or white.
That's right. Yep.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put up your Instagram. Is that a good way for anybody to get a hold of you, Gabe?
Yeah. Yep. The precision_resilience.
All right. So this is Gabe's Instagram, Precision Resilience. If anybody's listening to this after the fact, it is precision_resilience. But if you need to get a hold of Gabe for anything,
hang on,
I'll just go out and say it.
Scroll down a little bit. Look at that sweet t-shirt.
Oh, look at that shirt.
Look at that shirt. Whoa, there you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
That's one of my favorite shirts, man. It fits freaking good.
Thanks for repping, dude.
Good quality.
Yeah. Gabe, you seem like somebody that you could you'd respond to a message about tactics and business, or you'd respond to a message about Jesus. So
just about anything.
Yeah, guys, go give him a follow. And I'm not gonna lie, I just hit follow back before I put it on the screen. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't.
Hey, let me read a scripture real quick. It ties into the shirt Gabe was wearing, and I thought it would be good for today's episode. So this is the whole armor of God. I'm in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And then verse 12 is, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places.
It's a good one, man.
I love that verse, man. Yeah. And I think that just shows you who we're really at war with. It's not each other. It's a spiritual war.
Yeah. I think there's so much evidence out there that I think someone is, I won't say stupid, I'll say extremely misinformed if they don't think that there is a war going on for their soul.
Mm-hmm.
And a war to keep their soul, and somebody that wants to take their soul. So,
dude, I'll tell you, like, once I really gave my life to Christ, I expected, like, oh, it's going to be so great. Man, things have gotten so much harder. It's like the temptations are so much more, the intrusive thoughts and all that. Like it's seriously, it's that spiritual warfare. The enemy is just sees where you're going, and I think really wants to just try to destroy that and take you out of being a follower of Christ. And yeah, we were talking about before we started recording, like I had a bad freaking day today, but that's just how it goes, man. Like
I do. I will be honest, dude. I'm so honest on this podcast. Most of the time, there's something inside of me that's like, oh, I got to do this podcast. And then I start it and I'm like so relieved. It's like a release every Sunday. I don't know if it's like because it's like a relaxed day. And then I'm like, oh, I have a task at 6. And maybe that's why I'm kind of like feeling like lazy about it. But it alarms me that there's something inside of me that is like making it, giving it like a, what do you call that? Like a procrastination feeling.
Yeah.
Like, and then as soon as we hit record and we start talking, I'm like, I can feel it. It comes out. It's like warmth and I'm happy. But yeah, it's alarming the feeling that I get before this. So I'm hoping it's just like stress,
I think too, it's because the type of show it is. It's almost like you're bracing to get hit with something because somebody's gonna say something. We've had crazy people in the comments before, and like I want to share this real quick because we were talking about relationship. So like today, I won't get too far into it. My mom got rushed to the ER, and it's been this ongoing thing. And I'm just like in this kind of funky place today. I still wanted to do the show, but like I tried to pray earlier, man. And I'll be honest, dude, I didn't even know what to say. I was just kind of like checked out and trying to pray. And so I want people to understand that just because we sit behind these microphones and read scripture and talk about Jesus, that doesn't mean we're some, cookie cutter Christian that just has life all figured out. And just like Gabe just said, when you follow Jesus, life, it does not get easier. Yeah. There is hope and peace in Jesus, but it doesn't make things easier. You just know he's always there with you. But that's how we're molded into better men, is undergoing these adversities in life. And without Christ, and you're trying to do it on your own and white knuckle it, you're going to fail. The world will chew you up, man. It will chew you up. And we all can relate to that. I mean,
sometimes I like to picture my Jesus as not 8-ounce baby Jesus, but he's got a cigar and he's got a water pressure thing. And he's like, we're about to scrub off all that sin, bro. Get ready. Oh, yeah. And he's just like, and it's like, you're like, hey, I need this. This is what I need. And it's not, and it can be perceived as hard.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of things. It's all about how you look at it. Like maybe now your eyes are open, and it always was like this, but you had your blinders on and made all the sinning easy, and now reflecting about your whole life and reflecting on selfishness and reflecting on ego and reflecting on being just a bad person. It's like, it's hard to do. It's like, Jesus is like, hey, don't forget. Keep looking in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I know for me, man, I'm trying to raise my standard every day. Like there's so much sinning and crap that, I'm obviously still a sinner, but that I was doing in the past now that I'm just much more cognizant of. And it's hard to look at all that stuff and be like, man, I was doing all this shit. Like, see, and there you go. Cussing, and I feel bad about it.
At least it wasn't just me. But yeah, guys, go check out Gabe. Gabe, thanks for coming on, dude.
Appreciate it, man.
That was an amazing interview. Me and Steve don't have a lot of rules around here, so if you ever want to come back, just let us know.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's definitely an honor because I've been watching every episode and I love what you guys are doing with this. Like,
thanks for the support, man. Yeah, you're awesome. You're awesome, dude. Thanks for your friendship too, man. I'm really grateful for you.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Like you've helped me out tremendously, man. So I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, man. It goes both ways, man.
Like Steve's awesome. Like he's always texting me and just checking in on me. Like knew I was going through a divorce and stuff and just constantly hitting me up. Like so grateful for your friendship. Never met this guy in person, but
yeah,
you're just an amazing dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we're using the enemy's tools against him.
Yeah,
So,
man, for sure.
Yeah.
Let me hit one more scripture real quick, man, before we wrap things up. This is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. I just want to throw that out. I feel like we need to read scripture on here just to kind of make it more about Christ than, just talking. But we're doing a good job of that. But I feel like I need to read the Bible too. So
you're right. You're right. Sometimes I think we tend to we have so much technology and resources now that if you ask me, Tyler, when's the last time you opened the Bible, you'd probably be disappointed in me. So I really truly believe that reading from the Bible is imperative. I think it's actually even stated that you need to read from the Bible. So what is that? Why'd you pick that one, Steve?
I was just trying to find some scriptures today that would kind of tie into what, like Gabe's background and his company. And I think like that warrior mindset. And a lot of it was because of the backlash that Gabe and I have kind of gotten recently on Instagram. So I thought it's kind of got that warrior, spirit. Like we're not supposed to be afraid because we've got God with us. Because Jesus is a warrior king. I mean, he's coming back as the Lion of Judah, not the Whole Foods guy in Birkenstocks. People, but that's how people see him, though. They see him.
You're right.
But he's coming back with a sword. He's not coming back to kiss you on the forehead. That's what they portray him as, dude.
Yeah. No,
like,
no.
Like a hippie, like just chilling, like, hey man, it's cool, bro. No, he's coming back. It's a war. And so I think the Christian masculinity piece that needs to be linked up with guys that have testimonies, that have carried, a weapon on their hip for a job and have put themselves in harm's way and gone above and beyond. And you don't have to do that job to follow Jesus, but I think it resonates better with guys that still look at Christians as, dudes they don't want to be around. Like, I'll just be honest, man. When I came on Anti-Hero, I got a little bit of backlash, but I was like, it's all good, man. I don't care. Like, oh, we can't cut. I'm like, dude, I cuss all the time, but I'm trying to be like a man of God. So I work on it. I pray about it. But like, if you want to label me as a dorky church guy, go for it. All I got to do is look at my back. You can tell I'm not, my back is covered in tattoos. I don't have them on my forearms like you guys do, but like, I don't think anybody knows me in person would ever look at me as like the dude at Whole Foods.
I think
Pantera is my favorite band. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's important though to show that side of Jesus and to show that side of Christianity, because that's the type of dudes that we are. We're kind of like counterculture to the average man, maybe, and it's important to have that motivation, that drive. Like, no, Jesus is he's doomsday. Jesus is coming, man, and so.
Well, and I think kind of like we were talking about earlier too, like how none of us are perfect, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier, like me coming into faith, seeing guys that have had, the background or have been totally upfront with mistakes that they have made. And because it's so much harder to relate with somebody that just acts like they're, on their pedestal and they have their faith, where guys like us, where, dude, I know I've heard your testimony, Steve, and, I respect you even more for the fact that you're putting that stuff out there, and you're a man that's changed, that's, because of Christ. And I think that's what people need to see.
Yeah. The enemy wants us to stay quiet. He doesn't want us to share our testimony.
No.
So it's our job to get it out there, to help others and bring others to Christ, regardless of how polished or, well kept we look or whatever.
Right.
All right. You want me to take it out, Steve?
I think Gabe should do it.
You want? All right. Yeah. Pressure's on.
Love you, bro.
Put me on the spot, huh?
You don't have to do it, man. I'm just messing with you.
Who's got it? I got it.
I'll do it. Let me do it. I'll do it. All right, you ready? I'll do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gabe. I was just messing with you. Here we go. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this time again tonight. Thank you for Gabe and thank you for Tyler. I pray that we reach someone tonight that needs to hear this message and needs to hear that you are a God of love and a God of peace, but you are always with us and will never leave us or forsake us. Lord, be with this mission that we've created in this brotherhood, where we're trying to align ourselves with like-minded men, but at the same time reach those that don't know you, or those that are carrying wounds and trauma from church, or that just don't feel worthy of you. Lord, I'm grateful to be able to sit here today and to just have the fellowship with Gabe and Tyler. I needed this today, and I'm grateful for it. Thank you again for all that you do for us, Lord. Thank you for dying on the cross for our sins. We love you, and we're grateful to be here tonight. It's in your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, guys. That's it. We'll see you 2 weeks from today, Steve.
I could probably do. I can do next Sunday. I'll make it work.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I'll be here. So we'll do
We'll see you next Sunday. Hopefully we might have a cool intro and a little bit more branding for the show. So
awesome.
Gabe, thanks again, dude. It was nice meeting you. I can't wait to keep in touch with you.
Hell yeah.
I followed you back because I'm a
thanks, man.
freaking POS and didn't know that I didn't
Not
follow you
supposed to
back.
say that. Not supposed to say that.
I know. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate you, Gabe. Thanks, man.
Hell yeah.
Take care, Tyler. Thanks, man.
Later.
See you again.